We're only around a month away from Apple's September event where they're going to reveal the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and it's coming with perhaps one of the weirdest design decisions that goes against everything that Apple is currently doing right now, which is making their devices thinner and thinner. They're actually making the new 17 Pro Max even thicker than the current model, up to 8.725 millimeters, which is in fact the thickest iPhone in 14 years since the iPhone 4S. So why in the world would Apple do this? Their chips are getting more efficient, their software is getting better, their components are shrinking, getting smaller, like their new custom Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chip, as well as their C series of modem. The only current excuse that people are using is that Apple wants to put in an even bigger battery, hence the extra thickness. But other than that, there is no good explanation until now. My theory is that Apple is intentionally designing the iPhone 17 Pro Max this year to prepare for their most important iPhone product ever, which will be the iPhone Fold next year. And if you don't think it's the most important, it is, because we just have reports that Apple's entire iOS 27 update next year will be fully focused on new features for Apple's new foldable phone, which means they're counting on this new foldable to be a banger. And we've just had a ton of recent leaks and rumors come out for the new iPhone Fold, including the pricing, which is gonna be very expensive, which means that Apple is gonna try to get their pro users that are willing to spend a lot of cash to upgrade to the iPhone Fold. So before we get into all the new leaks and rumors and all the specs that you should expect, I want to explain Apple's master plan and why they're making the 17 Pro and Pro Max thicker. As we all know, the first thing that people do when they choose to buy a new phone is compare it side by side with the phone that they currently own, with one of the main comparisons being thickness and the feeling in your hand. So if Apple launches the iPhone Fold and it feels super thick and bulky like a brick compared to the latest generation iPhone, every single YouTuber out there will be screaming from the hills that it feels like a brick, and they're just gonna continue using their Pro model. So Apple's plan is to essentially increase the thickness of the new iPhone 17 Pro Max by quite a bit, so that when the new iPhone Fold comes out, it feels pretty much the same in terms of thickness when you have it folded down like this, which to a lot of people will seem like an engineering marvel or miracle, since it's essentially a tablet folded in half that still feels like a regular phone in your hand. This right here is the new Galaxy Z Fold 7, and this is pretty much the first and only foldable that I've actually considered using and switching to, since it basically feels like a regular phone with no compromises right here in your hand, just like a regular smartphone, yet you can unfold it to get a massive display experience. This is the first foldable that ever got me excited for Apple's iPhone Fold, and now I think I'm actually gonna upgrade to that when it comes out next year. And the cool thing is, Mark Gurman just shared a new report that said that Samsung's new Z Fold 7 sales and the new Flip have increased by a massive 50% compared to last year's models, and I think it's because they finally achieved the most important factor that matters for foldable phones. The fact that it looks and feels like a regular smartphone in your hand and in your pocket, and then you can unfold it. That thickness factor is the most important thing for foldables, and Samsung has finally achieved it. And that right there is why I think Apple waited so many years to start making their foldable phone. I mean, we're on the Z Fold 7 for goodness sakes, and we're gonna have the Z Fold 8 next year before we get Apple's very first foldable phone. So I think Apple was waiting for many years for the tech to get advanced enough to finally achieve a regular smartphone feel before they pulled the trigger on their foldable, and that time is now. However, there are a couple of very important features that Apple was also waiting on, so let's jump into all the new leaks and rumors. For leak number 1, it's rumored that the new iPhone Fold will come with a crease-free display, which is actually going to be the same one coming on the Z Fold 8 next year. I mean, even this Z Fold 7, if you unfold it, if I can, you still see that crease right there, and I think Apple wanted to avoid that at all costs, because if you have a crease-free display, it first of all improves the durability and reliability, which Apple cares a lot about, and of course it looks better too. For leak number 2, we have the thickness. Ming-Chi Kuo has said that it could be as thin as 4.5 millimeters when unfolded, so when you fold it up like this, it's going to be around 9 millimeters thick, and that's why Apple is making the 17 Pro Max 8.725 millimeters thick. So when you feel them both in your hands, it's gonna be pretty much the same feeling in terms of thickness. And it's crazy that Apple is doing that just to make sure that their iPhone Fold feels better and nicer when it comes out. For leak number 3, we have the pricing, and it'll apparently be between $1,800 and $2,000, which is very expensive. I mean, payment plans will be like $100 just for the iPhone Fold, which is crazy expensive. And that's why they need to make it feel like a regular Pro phone in their hands. And if it's gonna be as good as I think it's gonna be, I'm gonna buy it, and many people will as well. For leak number 4, it's expected to get a 5.5-inch outer screen, which is actually quite a bit smaller than the one on the Z Fold 7, which means it'll be even more compact than this. Maybe even like a regular, regular iPhone 17 Pro. So it might actually be quite a bit smaller, but then it unfolds into a bigger 7.8-inch display. For leak number 5, the iPhone Fold is gonna come with a titanium chassis, which I think is a must-have for a very thin design. Just like, for example, we have the iPhone 17 Air that's just about to come out. This is gonna be the only titanium phone coming out this year because these Pro phones are switching back to aluminum. For leak number 6, we have battery life. I think it's still gonna be great because you essentially have two phones coming together, folding in half, so there's a lot of room for battery. And Apple's also gonna be using silicon carbon battery tech, which makes it even better. So we might even have 5,000 milliamp hours of battery or more in the new iPhone Fold, which is very, very promising. And finally, we have leak number 7, which is the release date. And this new iPhone Fold is coming at next year's September event alongside the new iPhone 18 series of phones, except for the regular iPhone 18 model, which will get delayed until the following spring, so that we basically just have 4 phones in the lineup at the September event. We'll have the iPhone Air, the iPhone Pro, the iPhone Pro Max, and the iPhone Fold. So that's gonna be the new September lineup coming out. And I think a lot of people are gonna start buying this new iPhone Fold, especially if it's anything like this Galaxy Z Fold 7, but of course with Apple software. So let me know your thoughts on the iPhone Fold and the iPhone 17 Pro Max thickness increase down in the comment section below, and subscribe above for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.